Welcome! We're making a hearty bean soup today, packed with rich flavors and wholesome ingredients. We'll start with soaked beans, sauté some veggies, add a blend of warm spices, and let it all simmer to perfection. By the end, you'll have a cozy, satisfying soup that's perfect for any day. Let's gather everything we need and dive right in. All right, let's get started with our bean soup. First, we have 1 cup of dried beans, soaked overnight or quick-soaked. You can use navy, cannellini, or pinto beans for this. Then grab 1 large onion, finely chopped, followed by 2 carrots and 2 celery stalks, both diced. We'll need 4 cloves of garlic, minced, to add flavor. For spices, we have 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and 1 bay leaf. Moving on to the liquids, you'll need 6 cups of vegetable broth, a can of diced tomatoes, and for seasonings, salt, pepper, thyme, and oregano. Lastly, if you like some greens, chop 2 cups of kale or spinach and have a lemon ready for a squeeze of freshness at the end. Let's begin by preparing our beans. If you soaked them overnight, drain and rinse them thoroughly before using. If you forgot to soak, no worries. You can do a quick soak by boiling them for 2 minutes, then letting them sit off the heat for an hour. This softens the beans, making them easier to cook and digest. Once they're ready, set them aside, and we'll move on to cooking them soon. Dried beans give this soup a heartier texture, but you can always use canned beans if you're in a hurry. Now, in a large pot, add your soaked beans along with 6 cups of fresh water or vegetable broth. Toss in a bay leaf to infuse some gentle flavor. Bring the pot to a boil over high heat. Once it's boiling, reduce the heat to low, cover the pot partially, and let the beans simmer for about an hour to an hour and a half until they are tender but not falling apart. If you're using canned beans, you can skip this part and head straight to the vegetables. While the beans are simmering, let's sauté the vegetables. Heat 1 tablespoon of olive oil in a large soup pot over medium heat. Once the oil is shimmering, add in your chopped onions, carrots, and celery. We want to cook these down for about 8 to 10 minutes until the onions turn translucent and the carrots and celery start to soften. Keep stirring occasionally so they don't stick to the bottom of the pot. The vegetables will create a flavorful base for our soup. Time to build some deep flavors. Once your veggies are softened, add 4 minced garlic cloves. Let the garlic cook for about a minute, stirring it around to release its aroma. Now add your 1 teaspoon of cumin and 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Stir everything together for another minute or so, letting the spices toast slightly to release their full smoky flavor. This step will elevate the soup, giving it a rich and savory depth. Now that our spices have released their wonderful aromas, let's bring everything together. Add the cooked beans to the pot, along with their cooking liquid if you want a thicker soup, or drain them for a thinner broth. Pour in the 6 cups of vegetable broth or any remaining broth you have, and don't forget the diced tomatoes with their juices. Season the soup with thyme, oregano, salt, and pepper to taste. Bring the mixture to a boil, then lower the heat and let it simmer for 30 to 40 minutes. This will allow the flavors to meld together. Now for an optional but healthy addition: greens. About 10 minutes before the soup is done simmering, stir in your 2 cups of chopped kale or spinach. They will wilt beautifully into the soup, adding vibrant color and extra nutrition. Just toss them in and stir occasionally. If you prefer your greens to be a little more crisp, you can add them right at the end instead. Either way, they make a great addition to this hearty soup. To brighten up the soup and balance the deep, earthy flavors, we're going to finish with some lemon juice. Right before serving, squeeze the juice of 1 lemon into the soup. Stir it in well. The acidity really helps lift the flavors and makes the soup taste fresh and lively. It's a great final touch that adds a bit of zing without overpowering the other ingredients. Now the best part: serving your delicious bean soup. Ladle it into bowls, and for a bit of freshness, sprinkle some chopped fresh parsley on top. If you want, you can serve it with a crusty piece of bread on the side or a side salad for a complete meal. This soup stores well, so any leftovers can go in the fridge for up to 5 days or in the freezer for up to 3 months. Lastly, let me share some quick tips for this bean soup. First, if you want a creamier texture, try blending a portion of the soup and stirring it back in. If you're in a rush, canned beans work great. Just drain and rinse them. Adding a Parmesan rind while the soup simmers gives it a rich, savory flavor, but make sure to remove it before serving. For extra brightness, don't skip the lemon juice at the end. It really balances the flavors. Lastly, this soup tastes even better the next day, so it's perfect for meal prepping. Enjoy the rich, comforting flavors of this hearty bean soup.